You know, there is the trade deadline, and then there is Brian Burke's trade deadline. It is usually a few weeks early, and it brings with it little fireworks. Well, today, the Toronto general manager sent Francois Beauchemin back to the Ducks for Joffrey Lupul, Jake Gardiner, who really is the central piece of this move, and a conditional pick with more. There's our James Cybulski.
Wednesday began as a day where Leaf fans had a glimmer of hope. Their club had won 4 of their last 5 games and had snaked their way to 8 points of a playoff spot. But it still didn't deter Maple Leafs president and GM Brian Burke from shaking up his roster.
We started on this deal 3 weeks ago when everyone was screaming for a trade. Now everyone's saying, gee, the team's playing well. You can't run a team on the basis of how the last 3 or 4 games have gone. We're pretty excited about adding a player who has scored 20 goals multiple times. Last year, this most recent injury he had, I believe, was on a pace for 35 goals. This is a guy who can score goals, and he's dangerous on the power play, quality person.
The dollars are fairly comparable between Francois Beauchemin and with the 27-year-old Joffrey Lupul, a $4.25 million cap hit for another 2 seasons beyond this year. Lupul has scored 20 or more goals 3 times in his career, but back trouble has plagued him the last 2 seasons, limiting him to just 49 games.
He had a serious infection that came out of an operation. We reviewed it with him. We reviewed it with our doctor. He is still on antibiotics, but that is standard procedure for an infection of that kind. He's been cleared to play. He's been playing. He's played well.
I still feel 100% that I can take my game to the level that it was at before and above that. I think, actually, I know that my best hockey is still ahead of me. My body it's reacted pretty well, and all I can ask for is an opportunity.
This could only be the beginning of things to come for Burke this month, as several Leaf names are still rumored to be on the trade block, including Thomas Kaberle, Chris Versteeg, and J.S. Giguère.
I do want to go talk to Berkey soon. You know, I want to know a little bit what's going on with myself, but you know, and sometimes I don't want it to be a distraction for anybody.
Leafs forward Clark MacArthur actually played junior with Joffrey Lupul, having played together in Medicine Hat in the Western Hockey League. And with that chemistry in mind, Leafs head coach Ron Wilson says he plans to put Lupul on a line with fellow Prairie boys Tyler Bozak and MacArthur when Lupul is expected to make his debut Thursday at home against the New Jersey Devils. James Cybulski, TSN, Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, some Leaf news for you. Jonas Gustafsson left after the first period of the Marlies game today with an elevated heart rate. Gustafsson has had a history of heart problems. Monster was kept out of the rest of the game for precautionary reasons.
Went up, so I mean, we didn't want to gamble. The doctors looked at me and they said I could go back in there in the 3rd period, but I mean, we were up a couple of goals there, so they told it was better for me to rest.
We don't view it as serious, but obviously it's a heart, and so we're taking precautions. The specialist in London, the heart specialist that has treated him, was sent the EKG they did today, and we'll follow his recommendations from there.